It's the time for Packets from China. So welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I am excited to show you this Kiddy handheld console. I am always searching for new devices, and if it comes to Chinese devices, it's just a freaking invasion. Still, even in 2020 new versions are coming out. But then there's the question, where will this Kiddy come in the list of handhelds? Is this a crappy product? Is this something worth your money? That is something we're going to find out. If you look at the packaging itself, you can already see that it has a big compatibility to different systems like arcade, Game Boy, Famicom, a lot of them. So nevertheless, the question is, how good are they going to run on the device? So the Kiddy 350-inch, it looks really cool, but it's still a little bit different than all the other systems I've reviewed. The Kiddy runs on a MIPS processor that is clocked on 1.5 GHz. It has a micro SD expansion up to 512 GB, and what is also very cool, that it has a 3.5 inch IPS LCD screen that has a resolution of 320 by 240 pixels and has an original 4:3 aspect ratio, and that is ideal for retro gaming. Personally, I don't care about the widescreen, but I know a lot of you leave comments regarding the aspect ratio, so in this case they have listened to the community. So let's take a close look at the packaging and how is this handheld packed up. So the last generation of Chinese handhelds come with these cool boxes. The one is a little bit more basic and the other one is looking very fancy. Nevertheless, the packaging itself, as you can see over here, they're doing a really great job for giving this thing a safe travel to you. Here we have the system itself. And the first thing that I'm noticing, that this thing looks totally different than the retro Game 350. But we're going to take a close look at it later. It comes with a cable. Yep, just a micro USB cable, I'm saying it correctly. And here we have a manual. And the manual, yes, this is the deluxe version, but you need to read it because we're missing out some buttons. And we're going to need some software for adjusting the volume and brightness, for example. So there's one thing to keep in mind, so don't throw it away. You're going to need it later on. Alright, so let's take a close look at the Kiddy device itself. I ordered the transparent brown version, not the blue color this time, but it's also available in yellow and the old school Famicom color gray. So the first thing that I'm noticing, that this thing weighs a little bit less than the retro Game 350, but overall I am very pleased with what I see, because if you look at the left, we can see the D-pad is in the left upper corner, and that's something that I really love because I am a D-pad guy. So at the left side we're finding the analog stick over here. It feels quite nice. It doesn't feel like, for example, with the Powkiddy, that feels a little bit cheap. And here we have the D-pad itself. It isn't quite long travel D-pad like the LDK, but it feels quite nice. So I'm very happy that they made an option to put the D-pad in the left top corner. And here we have the indicator for the battery. At the right we can find the select and start, and here we have the buttons. And I can tell you, I really like it. At the front we're finding only one speaker. So a little bit of a downside, but nevertheless, if you look at the layout, it's way better than the previous models I have reviewed, and I'm very pleased to see that they finally fixed some things. What I really hate about retro Game 350. On the top we will find two shoulder buttons, and I know some of you will not be happy about it because you wanted to see 4 of them. We have the CF slot, a button to go back in the main menu. We're having an output jack and a micro USB for charging. But the only thing the thing is lacking of is simply a way to adjust the volume and the sound. So what they did is, by holding the start button, you can use the down and up from the D-pad for adjusting the brightness very easily. And the same goes for the volume control, holding the start, pressing on left for going down and pressing right for going up. Not very convenient when you're playing a game. Alright, so let's take a close look at the battery cover. I really don't like the text on the back. It makes this thing give a little bit of a cheap feel to it. Alright, and as you look at the inside, here we have the battery cover that is very thin plastic. And here you can see that it has a very strange battery, not the similar batteries like the BP 5L or the Nokia batteries. So that's a little bit of downside, but A good thing is we can reach the original CF card very easily, and that is a positive thing. Alright, so putting it back, you need to be very gentle that this freaking stupid cable is put back in the compartment. Yes, I think I can close it like this, but the little valve fits like a charm. But the return button is also the on-off switch, so hold it for 3 seconds and it will boot up, give you the Game Kiddy decal. And the first thing I'm noticing that this thing is super fast when booting up. Alright, so for the people who are new to Open Dinguks, so in the previous models, and I'm talking about a couple of years ago, if you look at all the Chinese handhelds, you were getting these devices with pre-installed emulators, and there was nothing you can do. And with the Open Dinguks, they was introduced quite some time ago, we can now do a little bit of, let's say, adding and removing apps. So that's pretty cool. For example, with an Android device, you can say, okay, I don't like this emulator, or I want to have an improved version. You have the freedom to do whatever you want with it. So here you have a big list of emulator support, and here we have a homebrew list. So because a lot of great stuff to download for Open Dinguks, and we're having a great support of the community. So this, for example, Open Beat and Rage. There are no game installed on this, but I just wanted to show you this emulator. But I must show you this. As you can see, this thing has free Doom, but it doesn't boot up. So it's highly possible when you're getting the device with some free homebrew games that you still need to reconfigure everything. So just keep this in mind. But in general, there are a lot of weird, obscure games, and we are even having DOS ports like Descent, Doom, Duke Nukem, you name it. It's just freaking awesome. What I really like about these devices is just basically Open Dinguks with the homebrew support. The homebrew support, as you can see over here, we have some weird games, some are not very easy to play, but nevertheless we are going to get a lot of different options. And even this thing comes with a couple of the games. I know for a fact there are so many good homebrew games out there, and this device is quite powerful, so I think it will not have any problems with a game like, for example, Quake 2. But I know for a fact that a lot of you want to buy a product like this for retro emulation, so that is something we're going to try out.
Second place. Third place. Watch those barriers.
But if you're going to try to search in GameKitty for yourself, it's going to be quite challenging because a lot of stores on AliExpress are not selling it anymore. You can still pick it up, and the money you need to pay for it's not like the best price. The build quality is okay. I personally really love the display. The D-pad is very comfortable to play, and yeah, the joystick, it's the slide joystick like the PlayStation Portable. Not a big fan of those. But when you're looking at what you're going to get, it's pretty damn awesome. But sadly, even despite these things getting older, they're not going to get cheaper. Let me know in the comments, do you ever own one of these? Well, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become a Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.